One Studios, Bumblebee exclusive from the last night. We're going to try something different, if you can't tell already. This is going to be a fast-paced, high-energy review. And why we're doing that? Because my time's valuable, your time's valuable. Although I highly question it since you're watching this on YouTube. Doubt me? I know what you're thinking right now. God, this guy's a dick. I'm Mr. X, this is the Extreme Channel, and we do Extreme Collectibles here. It's a big part of the channel, and this is a big part of my collection now. I recently went down a rabbit hole with Prime One Studios Transformers. Prime One Studios is the manufacturer, and most of the time the distributor, and they have an entire Transformers line, both from Generation 1, the original cartoons, and from the movies by Michael Bay. This particular piece is actually from the 4th movie in the series. The horrible one. That's right, it's horrible, but it doesn't mean the character's horrible. The character's actually pretty awesome. And this is Bumblebee. He's a childhood favorite. He's the one who introduced the new muscled-up Camaro in 2012, I believe it was. I ended up getting myself a 45th anniversary edition that I had for about 3 or 4 years because I love that new muscle design. And I love the original Transformers movie. It's my favorite of all of them. Optimus Prime is, of course, my favorite Transformer, but I have to get a Bumblebee, and this one is, in my opinion, the best of all they've made. Now, we're going to dive into this guy. We're going to look at him. You're going to watch the unboxing and assembly, so let's go ahead and start on that right now. Here is the box that it came in. Big-ass shipper box. You can see my cell phone on top for reference. And then, of course, here is the art box. Some people get their jollies off looking at the beautiful art on this. I'm not saying it's not beautiful, but it's not for me. Came in standard foam as Prime One ships with tape. Now I got this second hand, so we'll talk about that in a second, but look at the first layer here of all the different pieces. Tons and tons of pieces to put together. And then we have the next layer. And so here I am starting to build, and one of the things, if you've never seen the channel before, is I always say that instructions are for pussies. And I have to use instructions on this because there are 46 different pieces. So I'm doing the best I can, and you can sit back for 2 or 3 minutes and watch what originally was probably about a 25-minute process. But this was my second Transformer that I put together in the recent days. I have a Barricade review. Go check that out right here. And this is actually my third Transformer from the Transformers movies. I also have Lockdown. I've never reviewed him, though, because he had an unfortunate accident and shattered, so I am in the middle of repairing him, even though I'm not good at repairing statues. Now, another big piece is, while this is my third Transformer from this line, it is actually the 6th Transformer statue I've owned, if you can say that 3A toys are actually statues. They're actually closer to toys, but I owned the Bumblebee, Megatron, and Optimus Prime of those pieces. But I got out of them because they were closer to action figures, even though they are nice pieces. And I have about 8 or 9 more Transformers on order. So sit back, relax, watch the rest of my assembly to some Transformers music. Now, before we jump into the review, and on the review, we're going to use the extreme scale. If you don't know what that is, go back and check some other reviews. but it's a 1 through 5 rating on different factors of the statue. Let's get dimensions for you guys. 20.5 inches deep, right over 24 inches tall. And I'm sorry, he is that was his width to start with. Width. He's 15.5 inches on the deep side. So let's start reviewing him. The first thing we always look at is concept. And when we talk about concept is, did they create it right? Now, this is a movie piece. So was it accurate to the movie? Does it make sense? And let's just start at the bottom. Right here, you see the signature base that they're using on all their movie pieces. It's decently plain. It has colors to match the statue, and it's this futuristic Cybertronian type robotic feel. And he's standing on it in a museum pose. When we talk about statues, museum pose means that it is posing for a picture. And I say it because we don't know if Transformers have genders. And I did not mention, this is not scaled, so they don't have a distinct scale for this, but I guess it's about 1/10. I'm not sure how tall a Transformer is in real life. And as you move up him, you see not only is he standing in a museum pose, but he has some weapons out. And we're going to talk about switch outs with the design, but it's a little bit of dynamic action going on here. He has his weapons out. He's ready to fight the bad guys. He has some light up features we're going to talk about. And it is very movie accurate. Now, Bumblebee is one of the Transformers that didn't change too much from movie to movie. If you look at some of their things like Optimus Prime in the first movie, he looked more like a truck. Where in movie number 4 or 5, he looked more like a robot. I like the fact that they continued to incorporate the car or automobile components within him within The Last Knight. And again, the statue is just following the movie. So if you don't like the way they changed, blame the movie, not the statue, because first of all, the movie sucks. The Last Knight sucks. And Bumblebee rocks. But I think it's very accurate. I like the fact they gave him different ways to display him, which is more of a design issue. But I think concept, the one thing I don't like about the concept is the base. I wish they weren't as boring and plain. I understand they're supposed to be museum pieces, because the other thing we didn't talk about, this is an expensive mofo. See what happens when we're high energy? We forget things. This is a $1,500 piece. Now, they made 2 different versions. One is an exclusive version that has hammers with it. We're going to talk about that. And they made 500 of those. And supposedly they made a non-exclusive version, and I don't know how many of those they made, and that was $50 cheaper. But overall for the concept, I think they nailed it. It's Bumblebee. It doesn't blow me away, though, specifically because of the base. So we're going to give it a 4 out of 5 or a W. W is for rail, for a statue you'd really want, but it's not quite a grail. Now, moving on to the next category is design. Did everything fit together well? Does it continue to follow the storyline? Obviously, this is very accurate to the movie. And what kind of switch outs and display options do you have? Well, first of all, we have some negatives because the base just takes up too much room. I think that's a big flaw with all the Transformer pieces. You're commanding some real big real estate. So that's a negative. Another negative is you saw me put it together. There were 46 different pieces. That is nuts. And the instructions that Prime 1 gives suck. So I should have just been a pussy and ate it up. Ate up the pussy. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be more G-rated, and I'm not, but I'm trying. I just want to let you know I'm trying. That's what she said. So jumping back into the design, so all the different pieces, some of them are a little bit loose. I think that's kind of something you need to look at. But one thing I really like about this piece compared to the last piece you saw I review, Barricade, there's a lot of switch out options. So let's talk about those. So here you see one of his arms. Essentially, he can have it down to the ground with a closed fist. And what's really cool is he is ambidextrous, so both arms on both sides can do this. The other thing both arms can do is hang down to the side with what's called a Cybertronian hammer. I don't know what a Cybertronian hammer is, but it looks really, really cool, and you could probably kick some ass with it. Other display option, on the right arm, you can have an arm that is pointed out with a big gun on it. And who doesn't like a big gun? That's obviously the way I'm going to have it displayed. And not only that, but the gun lights up. Ooh, pretty. Now, interestingly enough, you have 2 different display options. And this is kind of weird. Check this out. They actually gave us 2 different heads. The heads are exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the helmet. So I don't know why they gave me 2 heads, but it's always good to get head twice. I'm really trying to be G-rated. Sorry, guys. So here is a picture of his battle mask down. This is when he's about to fight. And initially, you would think this is the coolest one. It's not the one I'm going to display. But check out the light up feature with it. You can see the pupils of his eyes on the inside. And it also makes the chest light up, the headlights. Now this is the battery compartment right here on both portraits, because as I said, the portraits are the same. It is just the cap that is different. Now let's check out the other head. Doesn't have his battle mask on the front. Very Bumblebee. And then also a light up feature on this guy. Huge plus on that, lots of different display options. I also like the fact, and this is more of the concept, but you see a lot of the pieces when we look at the paint and sculpt of the vehicle. You can still tell it's a Camaro. You can still tell it's a car. So I think on the design, pros, cons, let's do it right in the middle. We're going to give it a V on the design. It's very nice. I think some things could have been improved, but they did some other things to kind of counteract that are very good. Paint and sculpt, if you're new to the channel, we start at the bottom, we go to the top, and traditionally we talk about sculpt, we talk about anatomy, we talk about clothing. He's got no clothing, he's got no anatomy, so we're just going to wing it. Look at the base. Base is very plain in my opinion. It's not bad, it's just not interesting. But if you look at the paint and sculpt on it, the paint's nice on it. It's not amazing. The sculpt, they could have done some more details and ran some more futuristic looking technology and wires through it, not only on the sides that you're seeing here. One thing that's interesting is the yellow you're seeing on the corners is a little battle damage. There's like some black wear on there, which I don't understand because the rest of the base is clean. Check out the top here. It's plain. Nothing really to write home about. Makes me think of a catwalk or futuristic like James Bond type stuff or a robot planet. Let's start looking at Bumblebee here at the bottom. His feet are insane, man. You have tons and tons of gears and switches and car parts. You have the yellow coverings really giving good contrast. The yellow and black coverings giving good contrast to the engine parts that are this silver, dirty, spotted paint. And you, like I said, you see the gears and the what almost looks like thrusters in some areas. It's really, really cool. Here's a close-up of the wheel on the bottom. And as you move up through the leg, you see a lot of the same stuff. It's very, very cool. Tons of circuitry and gadgets and engine parts all over. It's a lot more detailed than the Barricade I just reviewed, which I actually like. It gives me a little bit more appreciation, and I wonder how, you don't have a still of Bumblebee in the movie where you can look at all this stuff. But I wonder how accurate it is. And as you get to his torso, check out the front of it here. Some cool pistons. You see the license plate. That's neat. He's got a nut cup covering things up there. The bottom of his torso. Moving up even farther, you see the front of the Camaro where the headlights are. And again, I love how in the movies they really made every car part still visible in the robot. True transforming. Very, very cool. Let's look at his back. A lot of things going on. So first, a lot more engine parts and circuitry and things like that in the middle. And you see the car doors, both the inside and the outside of those. Some cool detail, the windows. I think they could have done a little bit more on the inside of them, but very, very neat that they went this far. Let's check out his arms. You see some canisters and other crazy stuff on the inside of it. This statue really pops, and it might be because the yellow color, it's closer to an orange-yellow color, so I'm glad they didn't go overboard. But with all the circuitry and stuff, you could sit here for hours just looking at the detail in this guy. Here is his awesome hammer, very futuristic. If you can make, I don't know why they need hammers because their technology is so advanced, but it's cool that he has that. And I haven't watched the movie in a long time. I plan to watch it soon. I'm sure he's going to screw some people up. Check out his gun. Again, tons of working circuitry and gadgets and stuff like that in it. Looks really, really cool. I really appreciate how they did this. The back side of it, you can kind of see the tires, his front tires, I assume. And moving on to his portrait, here's another few close-ups of the mask, the battle mask. Initially, I thought this would be the coolest thing, and this is how I display it, but I like the other one much better. It has the Autobot symbol on the front. We didn't talk about the Autobot symbol on the front of the base, but you saw that. Like I said, I really like the yellow color. It's really not too bright and shiny, kind of like the first movie it was in. But then the other portrait, you get a much better look at his face. Very movie accurate, very Bumblebee. And the detail in this is kind of insane. And it's pretty much what, as detailed as the rest of the body, but you're looking a little bit more closer because it is the portrait. They did a great job not only capturing the likeness, but really just giving a lot to this statue. So when it comes to grading it, let's just put the paint and sculpt in the same category because we need to save time. I'm just kidding. We're doing it because I think it's the same. But they both get a 4 out of 5 or a W, a rail. The base is not so much, but Bumblebee himself is phenomenal, and Prime 1 just knocked it out of the park. It is an awesome, awesome piece. Now here is a picture of him faced off against Barricade. Obviously, this is the Bumblebee from the last night, but he's pretty close to the original Transformers movie where him and Barricade had a few different fights. I plan to display them next to each other. I haven't figured it out. This is a temporary display spot, but pretty neat. Now the question is, overall, does this have the X factor? Is it an X statue? It's not. The base really takes away from it, some of the design issues, but it is a damn cool piece. While it's not an X, it is a W. It is a rail for sure. Not a grail, but a statue people would really want. There's a reason that most of these Transformer pieces flip for more money than they retailed for. Right now, go look at sold listings on eBay. This guy is $1,800, $1,600 to $2,500. Of course, some of that could be fake, but awesome, awesome piece. I think he's the best Bumblebee statue out there, despite the fact that I don't like the movie a lot. Let me know your comments below. Let me know your favorite Transformer. Let me know your favorite Transformer statue. And most importantly, let me know if you like this new format of high energy, fast-paced reviews. If so, we're going to keep on doing them if I can find enough energy drinks. Until tomorrow, take care.